So I think we're very close to a German, Austrian, Roman win here. It really depends with the fall of Canada. That's going to be huge for Bismarck. But at the same time, the Ottomans, the Russians, and the Polish, they still have a chance here. They still have a chance of maybe consolidating, grabbing more cities, and trying to defend themselves a little bit better. Right now, Catherine has a very good opportunity of maybe taking over the Mayans. The Mayans and the AI of the Mayans seem to be a little bit distracted, too distracted of maybe focusing in on Moscow. But the Russians need all of their reinforcements. They need to pull everything from the east. They cannot be but the Mayans realized, I think, the attack of their capital, so they went back towards that region. Okay, well that is gonna make things tougher for Catherine. That's for sure. At least Russia does have a technology advantage, and I think it's got to be pretty significant at this point. Because the Mayans and the Inca have they've been at just two members of their team for quite a long time now. The Ottomans the Aztecs, were destroyed a while ago. Embargo against China has failed, and Canada was now passed. Canada will probably be destroyed completely, although they are going full in at defending Toronto. It doesn't matter. The Germans are too strong, too powerful. One of the big factors that I kept saying in the last video was the fact that Rome had rebuilt their military so much. That was huge, and I don't think anyone really expected that, because they were able to defend against both the Ottomans and Russia on their own. They didn't even need Germany. That was something that I don't think anyone was really expecting. How many teams of three are still remain? Nobody. There's only the two that we've talked about. Wow. So really, depending on who loses that third member, I think that's going to be the game. Boom. Toronto has fallen. That's why it was such a big deal, the fact that Germany and Poland had peaced out. It wasn't technically those cities, but the fact that Germany had launched this attack on Poland, they were on the verge of taking their first city from Poland, and then boom, a peace deal happened. And I'm not sure why or where. Maybe it was from Rome. Maybe Rome just wanted to get their capital back. That seems likely, because right when Rome got their capital back, it was over. Deal was done. Canada has denounced Russia. Boom. So Toronto has been taken, and there's going to be a race for Montreal, Quebec, and then Ottawa. We'll see if anyone else decides to go after the Canadians. Right now, China seems pretty focused on taking over the Zulu, which I have been saying. I think that China is one of the only powers that are underestimated enough that I think that they could maybe, Toronto. Oh, they took it back, so that's going to distract them for a little bit. Oh, wait a second. No, Germany. So Canada took it back. Then, yeah, so that will distract them for a turn. The Ottomans, there you go. Okay, this is a good first move. I can't remember if the Ottomans and the Polish are at war with the English colonies. It's very interesting to see these other powers start to, at least we're not seeing just Germany gather up the strength. China, I think, has enough in them to take over the Zulu completely, which will be a huge thing for the entire region. This Eastern Hemisphere, that would be massive, because that's one less civ to worry about, and that's less complicated wars. That's been the big problem, I think, with this part of the map, is there's been too many civs to attack, too many wars to go after. Nobody could focus their energy on just one site. They were going after all these different cities. Poland is pieced out with the natives, which that doesn't matter. Just Russia will not have their success. They weren't going to have success either way. Again, I don't know exactly who the Inca are going after, but this could be good. They might be going after maybe these American cities. And the Ottomans will destroy Songhai here, which means the Zulu will be on their own. China will possibly... Wait a second, who'd that take? Ooh, China might be taking it too, though. Poland's built the Manhattan Project. Okay. We'll see. I mean, that wasn't too far after the Germans had built the Manhattan Project, so that might sway the Germans to not go to war if they both have nuclear capabilities. Boom! That went to China. Well, that's kind of shocking. I don't know if it's going to stay in China's hands, but we'll see. China's on their own, though. They need to be big and powerful. They pretty much... I mean, Korea's their city-state. Korea is now a city-state, which that's what I expected. Imagine this. Imagine a TSL map. Imagine the previous campaign. Imagine France being super powerful, and then France being team-membered with a very unfortunate civ, someone like... who did not do very well at all in the campaign. The CSA. Well, the CSA didn't last as long as France had, but imagine like a city across the world. I'm sorry, a civ exists across the world with only one city. It's almost as if a city-state, and that will really pull down a big nation, like a very powerful nation that controls all of a certain continent. They have so like look at it's kind of the perfect example here. China is I think going to grow in strength. They're going to kind of flex their muscles. They need to take over the Zulu capital though. This needs to happen, and I actually don't know if it will. It depends on if they go now or when they go. I really hope they go and push me off to the ocean soon. I should have put him out there anyways, but that was my fault. It depends on if China goes first. Okay, here you go. This is another big deal. The Germans back at war with Poland. Have they peaced out? They haven't even tried with Canada, and they're going to go straight after Warsaw. And the Romans are going to go after the Ottomans. Okay, so they did take over the Zulu capital. But the Zulu will probably take it back, actually. Ooh, China, you're gonna mess this up. You are gonna be a huge disappointment, China. That's a problem. Well, the Ottomans no longer have to be distracted by Songhai to the north. They can now focus on defending their borders against Rome. China is not embargoed. The repeal for the Canadian embargo also did not work. Washington has entered the atomic era. Okay. And let's watch as Germany approaches Warsaw. There's a race here for Ottoman cities. Yep, I figured they were going to recover that city back. Canada is going to survive for a little bit longer. This is a very interesting series. It's crazy to see that one civ pull up the other ones. I don't know now. I don't know. Maybe 2 teams isn't enough. Maybe teams of 2 is not enough. Maybe teams of 3 is kind of that perfect little match. Maybe teams of 4 seems like it'd be a lot. If the entire team gets pulled up by one nation like Germany, because remember Rome was so bad, and all they needed was a super powerful Germany, and you allied to someone like that, and you're kind of set. I don't know. I mean, still teams of 2, I think is still a good idea. That way, the campaign doesn't end early. This campaign might end at turn 500 because, I mean, clearly, if the Germans take over all of Poland, which I don't know if they will, they are not exactly going straight in after Warsaw. And Warsaw will be able to defend themselves. Ooh, there is going to be a very interesting war here because the Ottomans have decided. Now, how are the Russians doing? That's another big deal. This is amazing. Rome is clearly just strictly going after the Ottomans, and that's fine. And the Germans are only going after the Polish. But Russia, how is it that Russia cannot also do some damage? They desperately need to. For their team's sake, Catherine needs to do something. They need to really do a heavy blow to Rome. Look at this part of the German, because that's another thing. If Rome collapsed, Germany constantly has had parts of their empire that's completely undefended. The western part of the German empire has been, for the most part, undefended. Ooh, this is interesting. This is a very, very interesting war that's going on. But the Polish their whole military is about to collapse here. The Ottomans are desperately fighting to keep a hold of York, but I don't know if they will. Oh, good, they're moving me. Keep moving me down to the south. That would be good. Okay, so you pieced out again, but did you piece out for any cities? No, the Romans did take they eventually did take one city. So the wars don't last long enough, which is very interesting. That is interesting. I don't know if I like that. Why does that continue to happen? That's a problem with 3 teams. It is. That's because any one of these members could peace out and be done and be like, I don't want to do this anymore. Oh, maybe the Inca will take over the Zulu capital, and then we won't see, because that would suck if we've been waiting for a war for the entire series, and they peace out like 3 or 4 turns later. So, geez, I need to make notes of all this. Because imagine we see that French-Russian war finally, and then they peace out like 2 turns later because their team members can't deal with it. That's why I'm thinking maybe teams of 3 might be too much. Teams of 2 might be a little bit better. And then it's kind of just a classic game of Civ. It's more classic, I guess. I don't know. We will see. I don't know. I'm just trying to spitball as much as I can. That's why we're doing this experiment, so that we know those things. So that the next campaign is really a big hit, which is what I'm hoping for. Bismarck's entered the information era, and we have, okay, people going to war against China. But I don't know. I mean, there seems to be a lack of military throughout the world. There really seems like people need more units. Ooh, are the Inca going to do this, or are they going to set their sights on the Chinese? I think the Inca would have a better chance of maybe defending against Germany. They obviously need to destroy all of this stuff, though. But because the Inca are also cornered off, they would have, I think, a good time. They'd have a pretty good time. Great Firewall. I guess we should move the spy. We're going to move the spy, too. Are we even spying on the natives? We are, kind of. We're only down to a few teams. At this point, we're down to, yeah, these top Team 3, Team 8, Team 6. Team 4, kind of. But no, Team 2's done. You know, it's just Shaka now with Team 7. And then there's me. So they did end up taking Nobamba away from the Chinese. The Koreans are actually trying their own small siege here. This might be, ooh. So maybe the Inca will finally have success. I think just the fall of the northern Zulu cities was enough to maybe focus the AI a little bit more. I don't think I've been giving the Inca enough credit. The Inca have constantly been there in this campaign. They just have had not a lot of success at, taking over cities. I think the Inca have the best bet of staying the furthest away from Germany, for one. The Mayans will exist. They will continue to exist. The Russians will not do anything about them. They're really well defended. I don't even know if the Germans, or maybe the Germans, but I don't think even the Romans could take over the Mayans at this point. Wow, Manhattan Project's been built by Washington. And they're going to attempt to take over the Zulu again. At least the Austrians are. We'll see if Germany tries to send over anything. Kingston will probably fall. And is there a lack of... it's been captured by the Ottomans. Yeah, that's what I figured. So the Chinese lost this former Songhai city. Okay, whoops. I meant to right-click that. That's fun. That's very fun. Okay, yeah, so Kingston will probably fall. Then I think we might see the AI turn its sights on destroying Korea, which would pretty much make the Chinese crumble from the inside. If they lose their, if they're only on a team by themselves, I think that would force them to pretty much crumble. I don't know exactly that yet. This is going to really help out the Inca because the Austrians will be more focused on taking care of the Zulu. So the Inca can focus on their attack against the Eastern Asian powers. As well as now we have the Ottomans going after Washington. This is big. This is big. It's unfortunate that the Austrians are going to take out the Zulu here. It looks like. But we still have strength growing from the Ottomans and the Inca. And mainly the Inca. I actually have faith that the Inca can do this because their team member will survive, and the Chinese are collapsing with no military and lots of cities. Lots of very juicy cities. Look at Beijing. At 18 population, that'd be a big city to fall into the hands of somebody else. So bam, here that goes. And yeah, so that will be destroyed. I don't think the Germans are going to get over here. Well, maybe the Germans might take that city over. It doesn't matter. Whether it's the Germans or the Austrians that end up capturing that city, doesn't really matter. The Germans have denounced the Inca because I think they realize what's happening. They're like, oh crap. See, pretty much what I'm starting to notice now is that the Russians are acting as the defense of Rome. The Russians will be the defense of the Ottomans, against the Romans. Poland is pretty much just on the chopping block. At any point, Poland is on the verge of failure. It will collapse, and it'll be a sad day when that happens. They just need to try to stay away from that. They need to keep Poland alive as long as possible. The Ottomans are smart here because they're the only civ that can be aggressive and take cities, and they're doing that against China. That's very, very smart. Historical landmarks, embargo of the Zulu. So the Ottomans are doing exactly what they need to do. Poland needs to build a bigger military because that's their only job is to just to survive. Even if they just have one city, they just need to survive. And then boom. Okay, so Shaka will be destroyed. So these members of the team are doing the right thing. They are doing the right thing. I would just love to see, honestly, I'd love to see I'd love to see us go further than turn 500. I'd love to see the game continue to be close past turn 500. That's just all I'm saying. So it doesn't really matter, China. You just declared that war. Germany, ooh, why did you do that? So Shaka has been kept alive. Shaka will stay alive for a little bit at least. Canada might be even distracted to go destroy them. Yes, they are. Boom. There you go. That is exactly what happened. Canada's now going to probably go destroy Shaka because he needs to. Canada has nothing else. But, you know, Canada will be... They're just like Poland. Canada's also on the chopping block. At any point, Canada will fall. Oh, so they're going to rush after the Inca instead. That's kind of smart. Why did the Ottomans retreat from their siege of Washington? That wasn't smart. Maybe because of the barbarians that have popped up or something. Yeah, so they just pieced out. So did the Inca. Why did you do that? Why did you do that? You guys were doing good. You guys were doing good. I mean, there's going to be more wars. But now Germany's not going to be focused on taking over Shaka. He's probably going to set his sights on something else. But the Inca look way more powerful. The problem is that China's going to be able to rebuild this military all the military units that they lost. The Ottomans are looking good. I mean, I don't know. I think it might be possible. There's a lot of different possibilities. I don't know what is going to happen in this campaign. It's very unpredictable. But man, I'm starting to think that maybe there is a team that can maybe resist the Germans. Look at Russia here. See, this is the issue right here. Bam, Rome. Why does Rome have so many military units? If it was just Germany, it wouldn't be that bad. But they weren't able to force Augustus to fall. That was the issue. And that's what I said earlier. I said they needed to destroy Rome, but they didn't do that. And that was a problem. Anyways, guys, I'm going to have to stop right there. We will see what happens. We're at turn 475. I'm going to see what you guys are thinking in the comment section. And as always, I will... Yeah, we'll determine what we're going to do with this campaign. This is perfect. I was hoping this campaign would be about 20 videos. This is only video 12, though. But I was hoping this campaign would be only around 20 videos. It was meant to be short, and that's why I did it like this. But anyways, guys, I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time.